Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to a One Piece the card game unboxing. This is going to be for Starter Deck 1, which is the red Straw Hat Crew deck, and Starter Deck 2, which is the green Worst Generation. If you're wondering how to play this game or what it is, go check out the other video I did. It's about 15 minutes or so long. Probably maybe shorter than that because I kind of ramble, at the end. But it goes through how the game is played, goes through the rule book, and sort of what you have to do. Otherwise, I'm just going to jump in and show off the cards in here. I didn't want to add that to the beginning of each of these videos. I'm also going to do a second unboxing with decks 3 and 4, so you guys can check that out too. And then if I buy some boosters, I will definitely open those up as well. But at the time, I didn't have any. I just wanted to grab the decks. Alright, so let's jump into Straw Hat Crew, which is, of course, Luffy. Monkey D. Luffy. Alright. So every deck is going to, of course, come with a leader card. We're also going to get our 10 Gon cards. So I'm going to show those off quick because it's the same exact card. You get 1,000 points. They're all going to be the same, as far as I know. I don't know, again, if there's different ones in the starter or in the booster packs and maybe grant different abilities. That'd be kind of cool. I can see where it could be abusive though, but it might be different. Like instead of giving 1,000 power, maybe something lets you draw a card, or gives you 500 power, but gives you counter or gives you blocker ability. That'd be kind of neat. Alright, so this is kind of shiny, so it'll be hard to, hopefully you can see all this stuff, but we have Monkey D. Luffy as a leader. He has 5 life points. He is starter set number 1 with the L rarity. He's part of the Supernovas and the Straw Hat Crew. And he's a yellow striker type. So yeah, all your decks have to be whatever color your leader is, so every card in here will be a red card. So he has active main, 1 per turn, give this leader or one of your characters 1 rested Gon card. So he can give out Gon cards that have been used. That is definitely cool. We have 2 copies of character card Monkey D. Luffy, he's a foil, so he's a super rare. So he has Supernovas and Straw Hat Crew. He has cost 5 to play. He has 6,000. Just kind of funny. So he actually has more attack power than the leader. So that's kind of cool. He has a rush. This card can attack on the turn. It is played Gon ×2. When attacking, your opponent cannot activate blocker during this battle. Ooh, so that's fun. So if he has 2 Gon on him, he can just smash through people. Then we have 2 copies of Renora Zoro. 3 cost, 5,000 with a slash type. Supernovas and Straw Hat Crew. He has Gon ×1. This character gains 1,000 power. So yeah, throw some Gon cards on him. For 3 costs, he's just as powerful as the other Luffy. He just doesn't gain the extra ability. Alright, then we have 4 copies of Usopp. It's just a Straw Hat Crew. But he also has a counter ability, so you can add 1,000. He's only 2,000 power. But he's also the ranged ability. I have yet to see where the range and strike come into play, but hopefully we'll find something that does that. So that is Gon ×2. When attacking, your opponent cannot activate a blocker. This blocker character has 5,000 or more power during this battle. So it kind of works like the Luffy one, except it has a limit on how much. And then if you have a trigger, you can play this card. So if he's in your life pile, and he gets defeated, you get play this card for free. We have 4 copies of Karoo from the Animal and Alabasta. Just a counter 1,000, 3,000, nothing super special, but hey, you need to throw them character cards out there to help maybe do some extra damage. But even still, if you think about it, you pay 1, have him out for 3. Luffy as a main character, for example, only has 5,000 attack power. So if you played him and you had 4 extra Gon cards, you could throw 4 Gon cards on for 4,000 power. You could defeat that Luffy. So it's not like this is useless at all. If nothing else, it can also work as a great blocker because your opponent might decide, oh, I'm going to get rid of him before I do that. So like play 2, you can take out that Zoro. Some Don cards can make a huge difference there. We have 4 copies of Sanji, Straw Hat Crew. Don ×2, this character gains Rush. He has 4,000 attack. 4 copies of Jingbi. I'm gonna probably hopefully I don't butcher too many of these names. It says 5,000 attack. Don, when attacking your leader or one of your characters other than this card, gains 1,000 power during this turn. Ooh, so that's fun. He's also a Fishman and Straw Hat Crew. So yeah, when he attacks, he can boost up somebody else. So that's definitely fun. We got 4 copies. Let's say we're gonna have 4 copies of almost all of these. Tony Chopper, Animal and Straw Hat, who has the blocker. So after your opponent declares an attack, you may rest this card to make it a new target of the attack. So yeah, 1 cost, 1,000. So he's probably not going to defeat that guy, unless you play some good counter cards on him. So like you could play blocker, choose a blocker, then you can play cards like Crew on there, which has 1,000, or Usopp has 1,000 as well. So you could play some counter cards to boost him up, and you might be able to defeat someone with him. Not super gonna happen, but if nothing else, it at least draws him away from your leader. We have 4 copies of Nami. Active. Once per turn, give 1 rested Don card to your leader or one of your characters. That's definitely fun to be able to do. She also has a special type, which is purple. We have 4 copies of Nico Robin. No special abilities, but she's 3 costs for 5,000 and has counter. 4 copies of Nefeltari Vivi, who has 4,000 and no special abilities, but she has a counter. 4 copies of Frankie, he just is 6,000, but he has a counter, so lots of countering here. So it might be what Red is all about, is countering abilities. Then we only get 2 copies of Brooke for whatever reason. He's got a counter of plus 2,000. On play, give up to 2 rested Don cards to your leader or one of your characters. So that's definitely a fun ability there. Then we're going to get 2 copies of some event cards. We have Guard Point with Chopper on it, who has counter. Your leader or one of your characters gains 3,000 power during this battle. And then trigger, your leader or one of your characters gains 1,000 during this battle. So this is definitely a fun thing. Like we were just talking about Chopper there, saying he only has 1,000 attack power, and he has blocker. But now if you block with him, and then you played this on top of him, now he's 4,000. You played one other counter card on him, it's 5,000 right there. Again, he could take out a bunch of these other characters, or very nearly. So yeah, you can definitely boost up very quickly like that. 2 copies of Gum Gum Jet Pistol. So this is Luffy, of course. Main, KO one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less, and trigger activate this card's main effect. So yeah, just straight up destroy someone. My favorite part about this game so far is the artwork. Here we have Diable Zombies. This is Sanji. Main, select one of your Straw Hat Crew type leader or character cards. Your opponent cannot activate blocker if that leader or character card is attacking this turn. So sweet, there's our first card that specifically references one of them. So now we do have a couple of characters in here that won't work with, like with Karoo and Vivi. But that's alright. KO one of your opponent's blocker characters with a cost of 3 or less. Then our final card is our last card type, which is the Stage. So it's cost 2, you can play the 1,000 Sunny. You may rest this stage. 1 Straw Hat Crew type leader or character on your field gains 1,000 power during this turn. So cool, right there. Again, boosting up Chopper for block, or getting some great attacks in with Luffy or Zoro. So yeah, definitely neat there. But you know, I was saying I love the artwork on here because you have something like this is right from the manga. But then you have some of these other ones that are more recent drawings or maybe from the anime. Different poses. Some are action poses. Some are like that's right from the anime. That's screen cap. You know, some are just regular drawings. That's from the manga. You can tell by the artwork on these. But yeah, it's definitely cool. You're getting all these different things. Like, it's not brand new artwork that they redrew for all of this, like they've done for some of the other Bandai games. Like, the Digimon has almost all completely brand new artwork. The Dragon Ball Z has almost all brand new artwork. Now, they didn't do that for this, but the fact that they're mixing and matching from all the different sets is really cool. Alright, so before we jump to the next set, here is just the quick list. All the different character cards in here. So 1 leader, bunch of commons, some super rares, and here's it. So 17 different cards in there. Again, I'm guessing being that it says that the Gon cards are just 10 Gon cards, they're probably always the same no matter what. Yeah, so I will also like this with the starter decks. It's kind of nice. You can pick one up. It'll show you on the back what characters you're getting, who you're getting, what the rarity. Bandai started doing this with their why can't I think of the name? Yu-Gi-Oh cards. A while ago, they started doing that, and I think Pokemon started doing it too. And that's definitely a great thing because used to be back in the day, you buy a starter set of cards. It was always like the base deck was always like lots of times there's like random decks inside. You never knew what cards you were gonna get. Oh, you were gonna get 60 cards or whatever, but you never knew for sure what 60 cards you were going to get. Or like the old DBZ games. Like then you had the issue of you were getting like there's 5 cards. There's like the 3 leader cards or like main character cards. Then like 2 or 3 other like random rare cards, which could be any rare cards, and then the rest of the deck was the same. So every time you bought a deck, there's like 5 or 6 cards that were different, but they could be the same as the ones you had. You don't know. But none of the rest of the cards you're buying, so you have to like, oh, I want to collect all 5 characters, or like all 6, characters in the game. It was such a pain because you had to buy these decks and randomly hope you got the character you wanted. And then if you didn't, you were stuck with another starter deck with the exact same cards. So I liked it better when they started doing these decks like this, where it's like, I can just pick these up and do these. Now, great, these are all complete starter deck characters. Digimon's doing that as well, where like, you can pick up all the cards and you can see exactly what's in there. I don't even care if they're going to be cards from a set, like Magic or DBZ does. Where they're cards from the different sets, that's fine to do too, especially later when these start coming out. But yeah, that'd definitely be... the fact is when you pick them up, you know what you're getting. Alright, so we're going to look at starter set number 2, which is the green set. And this is the worst generation. So now, I like One Piece, but I haven't followed One Piece as much as I should have. I've gotten through Impel Down arc, and that's about it. So like lots of this stuff is new stuff I don't know about. So we're going to get our 10 Gon cards, which look like all the rest. So we're going to start with all these new characters I don't know anything about. We have green. So we'll also see if these, like, if there's a theming in the colors. So the red deck seem to have a lot of stuff with a couple of cards that let you use rested cards, Gon cards. And that was really the big thing with it. And then giving little boosts here and there. So we'll see what the green one does. So we have Eustace Captain Kid, who's our leader. He also has 5 life. Supernovas, same. So there's a second Supernova. And then we have Kid Pirates, who also has 5,000. So it's comparable to Luffy in that sense. Active main once per turn. You can pay 3. You may rest a specified number of Don cards in your cost area. You may trash one card from your hand to set this leader as active. Ooh, so that's fun. So you get, instead, you can pay 3, then discard a card to basically have this guy ready to go again. Okay, that's cool. So we have 2 copies of a super rare, Trafalgar Law, who's also super. He's also like Hearts Pirate. So we have 2 different pirate teams already. Who's 6,000 for 5 costs. On play, set one of your Supernovas or Heart Pirates types rested characters at a cost of 5 or less as active. Interesting. So I wonder if they're going to have something later on that is going to let you mix and match cards, because it's like, what's the point of having Supernovas in red and green unless you're going to have some way of mixing them eventually? Maybe just a starter deck is saying you want to have all the same colors because they all kind of theme together. Then maybe eventually the regular rule, like later the rules will let you mix and match. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Set one of your characters. So it's like green is all about prepping your cards. So then our other one is another Captain Kid, who has 7 costs for 7,000. It says blocker, and on 1 end of your turn, set this card as active. So that's clearly what green is doing, is getting your cards prepped to attack more. So red looks like it was a boosting set. Green looks like it's prepping you to do multiple attacks. So we have 4 copies of Vito, who's from the Fire Tank Pirates. Just 3 costs, does some counters. We have 2 copies of Yerogue, who's Supernovas and Fallen Monk Pirates. Don 1. If you have 3 or more characters, this card gains 2,000 power. Ooh, because you get to set your cards and each guy gets a boost from them. We have 4 copies of Capone Gang Beige, Supernovas and Fire Tank Pirates, who has just a blocker. So it kind of works like that Chopper card did. We have 2 copies of Killer, who has Supernovas and Cade Pirates. His trigger, play this card. On play, KO one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 3 or less. We have 4 copies of Kobe from the Navy. So this is very interesting because the red set was almost exclusively Straw Hat characters. This one is having a bunch of characters from different crews, which is kind of cool. Kobe, 4 and 6,000. Nothing else special. He has Navy, so it'll come into play, I'm sure. 4 copies of Jewelry Bonnie, who's a Bonnie's pirate. Active main. Spend 1. You may rest this card with the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal 1 Supernova type and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Ooh, that is definitely fun. Actually, it costs 1, so you'll get her out very quickly. 4 copies of Scratchman Oppo, Supernovas and the On-Air Pirates. Don 1, when attacking, rest one of your opponent's Don cards. That's very interesting. Keep him from playing special abilities. 2 copies of Basil Hawkins, Supernova and the Hawkins Pirate. Don 1 once per turn. If this character battles your opponent's character, set this card as active. Alright. 4 copies of Heek, who's a Kid Pirate. Just nothing extra special there. Not sure though why he has a text box down here when other characters that don't have a text box, unless they just, with that picture, they couldn't figure out how to make him full art. Might just be the simple reason. So right here we have 4 copies of Beepo, who's Minx and Heart Pirates. A cheap card. And then we have 4 copies of X Drake. On your turn, if this character is rested, your Supernovas or Navy leader type and characters gain 1,000 power. So it's Navy, Supernovas, and Drake's Pirates. So it's kind of cool. We have a bunch of Supernovas. It'll work with the one other pirate we have in here. But you can kind of see there's going to be some cool themes in there. Yeah, definitely neat. Then we have our event cards. We have 2 copies of Scalpel. Counter, this is a Supernova and Hearts Pirates. This is counter. If your leader is one of your leader or one of your characters gains 2,000 power during this battle, then set one of your Gone cards as active. Trigger subject to your Gone cards as active. So, Scalpel is, I'm trying to figure out what character that is. I don't even actually know. Because the bar there should be this rod here that looks like Smoker's rod. Oh, it's Laws. There we go, because there's his hat. Yep, so there he is. So it's him down there. It's probably his ability. Then we have 4 copies of Repel. So this would be our main guy. I'm going to guess, yep, sure enough, this would be Captain Kid Eustace. Counter your leader or one of your characters gains 4,000 power during a turn, then set one of your Gone cards as active. So this is all about setting cards to be able to play them more often and more quickly. Then we have 2 copies of Straw Sword, Supernovas and Hawkins Pirate. This was Basil Hawkins, we just saw earlier, who's murderizing this dinosaur. Name, rest one of your opponent's characters. Trigger, play 1 Supernova type card with a cost of 2 or less from your hand. So that's definitely interesting. We have a lot more different characters, but we have less. We have no stage. We still have 3 events. With the 1 event, we have 4 of. Kind of make up probably for the other one, but we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 12. Yep, so we have 12 characters in one. We have 13 in here because we split some of them up. Yeah, definitely interesting. So I'll be very intrigued to see what the other 2 deck colors do. So let's look at that deck listing quick, and then we'll end this one. So we have our leader, but we have a 4. We have 2 of that one, 2 of that one, and then 2 of these 2. So instead of 4 of everything, we have 2 of a bunch of them. We're only had 2 copies of one of the Straw Hats. Other than the main 2, other than the super rares. And then we have no stage cards, so it's kind of interesting. Kind of makes sense with Straw Hat being 1 full crew. Almost all the characters are Straw Hat or Straw Hat adjacent characters, like the Alabaster characters. This one being made up of like several different teams. Alright, so that's what we have for One Piece Set 1 and Set 2. So check back in for Starter Deck 3 and 4. Or check back for the main video if you haven't seen that. Oh, these boxes are kind of neat too because they look like little manga books. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.